Sideline of ball. Late winner's doing it. They're going to take. He's going to bring down 30. Alone with a double kill. Dropping fast. Final points there. He's still alive. Wait, seconds left. He's going one step. He's going a second. He's taking it. Oh my God. On three. They're all dead.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Summit 2 by G2A.com, the C Division. We have made our way to now the final match of this best of 3 in the lower bracket final between First Departure and Team Malaysia. Team Malaysia in game number 1, they do a death ball strat with lots of big fancy ultimates. They end up rolling right through First Departure. Game number 2, First Departure throw together again and another respectable farming lineup. Team Malaysia, however, it's a bit of a hodgepodge. They got the Mushi morph, but really the supports don't go anywhere. The brew falls short, and it just crumbles all quickly as the farm is just too much from First Departure.
They were trading farm when they didn't have the lineup to do it. Like TA went for Midas, they're up against TA Medusa. Nature's Prophet is just not going to outcarry those heroes. Ohio was like, should I build for split push? Got a Maelstrom into Mjolnir. Then he's like, I might have to team fight because I don't know if Mushi can do this alone, so he gets a Daedalus, but doesn't matter. He just gets wrecked anyway. So going into Game 3, I would like to see Malaysia just play aggressive, take the fight to First Departure, shut them down early. That's where they're most successful. And if you're First Departure, just get through the laning stage intact, hang on to your towers, and try to take it late because clearly they have Malaysia's number there. They're 3 for 3 in recent games when that games go past like that 20, 30-minute mark.
We'll see here. This is a big one right now, folks. We'll find out who's going to be moving on after this one ends, and we'll be facing Team Invasion. And the winner of that, of course, will be coming to Beyond the Summit personally and being part of the LAN final. So big deal here. As First Departure, they lead off their couple of picks. They get a hold of that Tidehunter once more. And now they grab the Vengeful Spirit on the side of Team Malaysia. They get Big Bad Brad, the Horse God Centaur Warrunner, and follow it up with Skywrath Mage and an Invoker for a third pick.
This is more like it. So smart by First Departure, I think, continuing to ban out that Death Prophet. I'm a little surprised that Malaysia's not considering a Razor. Yeah, it doesn't push as hard early, but later on, once you get the Ags Refresher, it's just a ridiculous siege engine, and it's also a lane dominator, something that KYX and Mushi could use to just take over the game. But with the Razor being ignored, I like the Centaur Skywrath opener a lot. Good instant burst for the Tidehunter.
Yep.
You can just silence him and ignore him in team fights if your Skywrath is quick, and Net certainly can be very quick on his supports. And they've got that Centaur Invoker combo. Now, I'm very curious, Dakota, is it going to be... We've mostly seen Quaswax, but if you go back to the old Team DK at Starlighter Season 9, they were all about the burst. Like, before there was Skywrath, there was Centaur into Invoker Sunstrike. So, could go either way. I'm not really sure what the right answer is this game. It'll depend on these next few picks, but
that is a nice thing, though,
very
about
potent combo.
Grabbing the Invoker at this point is you have the flexibility to work with to do that, and it could definitely make First Departure second guess as far as what they want to pick up. You know, now seeing that, you might not want to consider going down the same road of maybe grabbing something like a Medusa this time and just hoping that she can get to that pinnacle point, because then he can just as easily flip the Quaswex, you know, kind of a build. If not, and he goes Quas Exort, he adds a little bit of global flare. You got that in the Stampede already, so you tack on maybe a little bit more global pressure. Hell, you can, you know, even go for a secondary AA kind of support at this point, and you'll even have more flare there, or the Shadow Demon can help set up Sunstrikes. We'll have to see what Team Malaysia want to go for. I agree, they seem to be at their best when they go hard, heavy, and in the paint in the mid-game period, and being able to take control when things kind of linger too long and you're a bit in question as far as where's your farm gone, where am I going to get it now. It's already a team like First Departure who has everything synchronized perfectly, and they're going to look to take a fight when they're well in ahead as far as resources. So
I just feel like First Departure, like the Southeast Asian equivalent of Team Secret. You can out late game them if you're really polished, but they're just so damn good at it. Why try to take them late? Shut them down early, take them out of their comfort zone, bring the fight to them, and just don't let them play late game Dota. But they have Miracle, and he's one of the best in the world at finding a way. He always finds a way. If you let him farm, he'll find a way.
His name is Miracle, for God's sakes. I mean, if there's a miracle way to pull out a game, I would hope it'd be on someone like that. So Now, First Departure, they round out what I would imagine being their secondary support. They get another big, beefy one here. The Ogre Magi we saw in the earlier
10
game
seconds remaining.
of game number 2. A lot of mobility coming out on the side of Team
5
Malaysia,
seconds
putting
remaining.
the ganking potential of Ogre Magi to use, and they came out pretty successful. They got a couple of ganks, they got the first blood. Very nice
Reserve
start, but then
time.
he just kind of ended up feeding in each team fight. He was first in the scene and first to go down. And after he kind of just threw out his Ignite and threw out his
Dire
Fire
team
Blast
pick.
and maybe a Bloodlust on an ally, his time was really done, and there was just no coming back. But if he is given the opportunity to build up some success on top of that gank, he can get together an Agnum Scepter, and he even has a pretty high ceiling in this game.
Yeah, it could be a good Ogre game. I guess the main issue is if it's a Quas Wex Ogre, Mana's going to be an issue.
Oh, yeah.
Wraith King, pretty damn good against this entire First Departure lineup. Huge amount of
10
burst,
seconds remaining.
and then you've got your second life. They have no mana burn right now. They've got no real way to prevent him from
5
reincarnating.
seconds remaining.
So I like the Wraith King pick thus far. We'll have to see what First Departure pick around it, but
Reserve time.
it's also an aggressive support. We've seen this a lot from
5
EG,
seconds
the
remaining.
4-position Wraith King, and
They don't care.
Radiant
Medusa.
team ban.
yeah, probably going to see Palasan on it again, and still looking to see what Miracle plays as his hero. What is in the pool for Miracle? We saw the Wind Ranger game 1. That was
I mean,
disastrously
for the third game
ineffective.
straight, they personally ban out Naga.
10
he
seconds
just,
remaining.
No,
It's
no
so-
Naga for me,
I'm-
no Naga for
I'm,
you.
I'm still curious what's going
5
on there.
seconds
but,
remaining.
yeah, I don't know.
We'll see if there's a story actually behind it. I'm sure at some point. You never really knows what happens between these teams when they
Reserve
do
time.
scrim it about.
Gentleman's agreement? Like, we'll ban random heroes and you ban your own heroes? So
Yeah,
far.
that Huskar Ricky. I mean, what if just like one time Team Malaysia didn't ban one of the two, and the other team just out
Dire
of spite
team
just
ban.
picked them anyways? Just like, oh, we'll run the Ricky then, just to show you.
Yes.
Radiant team.
Never
pick.
know. There's that Mushi Shadow Fiend. He loves to go for his mech on the Shadow Fiend early, and
And they do have Radiant side, so that's very
running the
nice.
Invoker Centaur. And Centaur's going to get a Blinks. Invoker looking like it will be the 1-position Invoker, so probably would be a Midas build, in which case that Shadow Fiend mech rush could be quite strong, but won't be available. So if it is indeed a Mushi hero,
10 seconds
Mushi Magnus
remaining.
is out there. He used to play that quite a bit.
Maybe
not
someone who
not
could-
sure it's a Magnus game.
5
I like how they
seconds
banned out the Shadow
remaining.
Fiend, so they're feeling that as well. Maybe you don't think someone who maybe could make good use of some additional mana
Reserve
burn, like
time.
a Diffusal or a Necro Book even. I
Mm.
was gonna toy with the idea of Queen of Pain, but they'd already banned it. But there's gonna be more of it. It's,
All right.
it's anti-mage
Yeah.
here.
Team
Good
pick.
call. Mana burn is definitely the way to go against Medusa.
Yeah.
First Departure has some good lockdown, mainly the Ogre, but he's not that mobile. So if they get through this laning stage intact, you go into the mid game. Malaysia might actually be able to match up well against First Departure, and I'm wondering if Miracle tries out late game, then, or if he says, "I don't know if we can do it anymore."
Yeah, that's
Malaysia are
scary.
really scary late if they get farm.
10
They've got 4 heroes that
seconds
scale well
remaining.
with farm. They have an anti-mage who can match up well against Medusa. Split push is a
5
lot better
seconds
than anyone on
remaining.
First Departure.
And if that Invoker goes Quas Wex, that's even more trouble for Medusa. She's never going to really have a good time when
Reserve
she's going to have a
time.
lot of resources if she's in a situation where she wants to kind of man up. And, well, there's no one else really out there who can man up more so than this guy. Sven, the last grab here on First Departure. What do you think about this here? Adding a little bit of extra armor on the table and more heavy burst, which if caught out with the back end of a bad stun, anti-mage could fall quickly if bursted on. But
I think it's a blink Sven game.
yeah.
Like, you have Ogre and Venge, decent stuns, but you can normally just blink when you see that magic missile coming unless it's from Fog. And Ogre is a bit of a wind-up where he raises that hand before he stuns, so I think Miracle's going to look to play very aggressively on his Sven here. I don't think you want to just farm this one out. They do have a ton of late-game damage output from Medusa. They've got the Aura from the Venge, the Ogre Magi Bloodlust, but that Invoker is going to be a real thorn in their side. KYXY,
10
fantastic Invoker
seconds
player.
remaining.
Like you said, expecting that Quas Wex build, and I think this is a pretty evenly drafted game. If anything, I'd maybe favor Malaysia a little bit just because they can't really punish the anti-mage that hard early.
Prepare
Very
for
strong
battle.
laning supports for Malaysia, especially the Scarth Mage, and if it goes late, Malaysia have the more mobile draft. They've got the anti-mage, who's the ultimate split pusher this game. In terms of raw damage output, I think at some point First Departure probably come out on top, but it's the pickoffs and the spread the map Dota where Malaysia have the superior lineup. So let's just see how it unfolds. But it's a tough Medusa game. Mana burn from anti-mage, EMP likely in the field, and well, KYXY does go for the early null tally, so we'll see. It's a very It used to be like whenever you saw something besides the Blades of Attack, it meant it was Quas Exort, but Null Talisman's just such a value item nowadays that it doesn't really tell you anything.
He likes to bring a little bit extra with that bit of right click, but still on the move. First departure, moving right on through like scavages, trying to see. They do get a brief glimpse of net, but
30
he's a
seconds to
Skywrath mage.
battle.
He just kind of simply flies out, and they're not going to get anything. They do place no wards, it looks like, so no sort of early aggressive wards, but though moving back now, Lubby with 1 sentry to work with, and so it's looking like it's going to be Sven mid lane Miracle matching up against an Invoker. Not a matchup I see very often here. I mean, what do you think on paper? Or no, or not, I don't know.
Mushi
Anti-mage.
solo mid. Oh, it looks like Mushi dual lane anti-mage. I have seen Mushi go mid
The
and just
battle
wreck people
begins.
on his anti-mage, so this guy's more known for his snowball style mids, but don't underestimate his ability to just crush the lane. He's skilled blink at level 1, misses his block, but that's okay. He'll get a second shot, blinks forward, and should get a good creep block. He's up against Sven, who has 5 base armor, should trade very effectively with the AM, but the good news for AM is you just start mana burning him, you just CS, and he shouldn't ever be able to solo kill you, so should be mostly a farming lane with the Skywrath Mage here. Miracle should have a bad time, but he just wants to get his bottle and mostly just get his levels out. It will slow down his blink if he is going for that, like that S4 style Sven mid. So.
Yeah. It's also hard as they continue to add a bit of harassment, it looks like, here on mid lane of Miracle. He's now
KYXY.
recognizing it's a dual lane, but bottom. KYXY, they move on forward, trying to go with the early bit of harassment we saw from Team Malaysia in the previous game, but come up a bit short, and it's going to be Kinchi who's like, get the hell away from our Invoker. I'm just going to right-click you down, and you're not going to really have anything to say. So it looks like first departure here, going with a bit of an aggro try, it looks like, for the meantime, and allowing for Pelosin to just go more focused on the CS. These two knuckleheads are going to try to rotate around and go for some sort of side attempts here. But even making a move on mid lane, it's going to be rough. With Skywrath there constantly babysitting and Mushi playing AM, with a one quick blink reaction, he could step away from a gank, but I think bottom lane's the lane that we're going to have to keep our eyes on.
That was pretty close to getting a first blood. Lubby was fairly low. They had an extra stun, but weren't able to go. At the same time, top lane, Ohio getting very aggressive here on Hana. He does have double edge. This could be your first blood. Ooh, not quite. Gets the anchor smash off, but the threat is real here. In the meantime, Nets just dove way past First Departure's tower. I think he might have been looking for a courier snipe, but that's not going to happen. Miracle gets a freebie.
Yeah, that was...
I did not see how that started, but
Me neither.
The only thing I can imagine is that he's going for a courier snipe, because otherwise that's just a ridiculous place to be.
Which,
But
I mean, they have the ward up here scouting it out, so, I mean, I'd agree. He sees him move up there, he turns the back corner and greets Skywrath Mage. Hey, how you doing there? And just takes him down immediately, and now Miracle gets that slight advantage now in the mid lane with the benefit of that first blood. He's got his bottle already, and he just charges right back to that mid lane position. We'll continue to farm it up, and now we're going to see movement from those first departure supports.
that is really bad, because you look at these lanes, on paper, Tidehunter should beat Centaur just because you anchor smash, it's hard for him to last hit. You don't really care about return damage because you're rarely auto-attacking him, and you should pull ahead in that lane, and not to mention have huge impact even before you get your Blink Dagger, where Centaur generally needs his to truly come online. They were also shutting down the Invoker early, although that rotation bottom slows them down a bit, but yeah, giving up a kill mid where you're dual laning against a Sven, that just shouldn't happen.
Now
So,
those two
very
supports,
costly.
they don't see anything mid lane, and they're forced to stroll all the way back here, and they see it coming along the way, and
Kenshi. TP? Only a level 1 ogre.
And yeah, he doesn't have the Fire Blast, unfortunately, so can't stop him from TPing on out. And
Oh, Mushi, he saw this courier mid, he could blink it and kill it, but he would die to Miracle if he did so. Just, Miracle was just taunting him. And I want to go back and watch the replay after this. I'm curious if, like, he actually managed to bait Net in, because Net didn't just get spotted by the ward when he died, he, like, ran down the hill and tried to run back up. So, that one's definitely worth going back to the tape. But here's another movement from First Departure, the 2-hero smoke. Uh-oh. Man, KYXY is having a really awful time on this Invoker. Even though he's not dying, level 2 at 3.5 minutes, and it's a Quas Exort Invoker. Really needs his levels, not getting them. I'm kind of worried for him.
banking more on the capability of their Mushi to be able to counter back this Medusa, going for that
Mid
Exort
lane,
kind of
mid lane.
build, but arriving past the tower here, Wraith King comes up with a kill, taking down Miracle. They strike back and do take down that Sven.
and then
Mushi,
bottom.
very battle wounded, and it doesn't stop there yet. Bottom lane, they're making the move. They see the commitment in the mid lane. They know Wraith King isn't anywhere, so they just make the jump onto Invoker, and they find their exchange kill there on the bottom. So it's going to be your Invoker for your mid lane Sven.
Dire's middle
That's
tower
you
is
know,
under attack.
helping out Team Malaysia there on that front. Mushi was a bit behind because of the first blood, but Now he's right back in it here. With low life to work with.
They need a lot out of their
Tit for
Centaur,
tat.
and Ohio is playing exceptionally well. He's had some support here from the Scarlet Mage, but despite that, was largely 1v1 for most of this laning stage. He's now 10 CS up on the enemy Tidehunter. He'll have a fast blink if all continues at this pace, and they need him to make plays. Great setup for Sunstrike, great setup for Mystic Flare. If Net manages to get it in a timely fashion, he'll have to shoulder the load, because right now, otherwise it's just not going that well. Mushi doing better than the Sven mid, but not that much better, and obviously your anti-mage needs to farm a lot more. Gonna get Stormbolted mid, just being harassed, and the key thing here is that this Invoker for KOXY is getting wrecked bottom lane. Just sitting at 13 CS, considering what he's up against, that's good, but considering that's a Quas Exhort Invoker, it's pretty awful.
Yeah, no, he needs to find a way to come down back. We saw him last game also struggle to really get to a point where he could be of big use, and he's hoping not to go down that same road. After Mushi does take that bit of harassment from the Stormhammer, and I catch the KXY, man, I am like off my game right now as he gets another
Top lane.
pick off bottom lane,
Ohio
and it just doesn't stop. Top lane. Ohio barely skates away.
So yeah, so the one bottom was a stun into a Sunstrike, so nothing too
The thing that
crazy
makes
there.
it tricky is every single lane, they're like in each other's faces. Like these two heroes, Mid, Mushi, and Sven, they're constantly playing footsie, just kind of going toe for toe, and
That's
it forces them back.
loser talk, Dakota.
No, but then
come on.
top lane, you got Centaur and Tidehunter, two big boys who are always also up in arms and being able to go at the anchor smash and just an occasional stomp here. They're just all over the place. They're putting me to the test right now as far as getting my camera across this
That's
fucking
okay.
area.
I have faith that you'll step it up at the crucial moments.
We'll see about that. I need a
Am
more
I
teeth for
jinxing you by
this.
saying that? They're
Probably.
wrapping around on Hana here, top lane. That is level 3. They're going to Stampede. Looks to go on your Tidehunter. Doesn't have Ravage yet. There's the pick off Ohio. Huge kill for him. At the same time, Kenshi being pursued out the bottom side of the map, and that looks to be a dead race.
No more mana to work with on the back end of that stun. Wasn't even 6 regardless. Wave of Terror, and a few more right clicks, he goes down. I did, however, catch both of those, LD. Don't worry about
Boom.
that. If
Got
you
him.
don't like the camera work, you can find me over on my Twitter at WhatIsHipTV and just file your complaints there. But it looks like Miracle Mushi still fussing it about under this tower, making me move so agile, but
Or your troll account at What Is Shit TV.
yes, of course. That's also the one we always go to as far as reading that proper criticism and putting it in for the next game. So
There you go.
yeah.
So yeah, look to the Centaur. This is Ohio's game to shine. Great start on the off lane. Sitting at 34 and 13. He's been fed a kill now. 1-0-0. Got the kill on the Tidehunter. Has Stampede, cooling down in 35 seconds. Early Blink. Great heroes to set up for the Invoker, as well as the Scarlet Mage. This game is all about Ohio. If he has a good start, he can just carry Malaysia to victory. If his first few ganks fail, or if he dies and delays his Blink Dagger, then you walk into the mid game where it might be the Sven who takes over. Miracle, considering what he's up against, he's right there with Mushi and still doing quite well in the mid lane.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how far this Sven can really take it. Now jumping in, Mushi though, he blinks right into a Fire Blast and the secondary Magic Missile. Has he gone in too far? He has. He gets taken
Meanwhile,
down.
bottom lane, Polossum caught out. They miss on the Sunstrike, but still, Stampede at 30. They should be able to get the counter kill here. He manages to buy first, double edge securing it. As Ohio up to 1,600 gold. Man, that was super cocky from Mushi. He blinks on top of Miracle when he had
Radiant's middle
not
tower
even
is
enough
under
mana
attack.
for a Stormbolt, just to drain him further. With the supports missing, that's just greedy. And hey, give First Departure credit. They know that's how Mushi likes to play. Miracle probably telling his team, he's going to go on me to mana burn me. Just wait, and then we'll counter initiate. And they were given a kill there. At the same time, the Medusa dies, so you'd call it even overall. But the death of the Medusa was more just standard tough roll in the off lane, whereas Mushi's was very avoidable death.
First Departure has a nice set of side resources to work with as well. Luca's been putting in work on this side camp here. It's already 4 stacks right now in your Ancients. 4 First Departure Medusa. Looks like Yummy in her tummy in the near future. Maybe Sven as well. Either of them could look to take it down and build forward towards that first big item, which, what do you think it would be here? For someone like Miracle in this kind of game, do you immediately go for the Blink Dagger to have the mobility, or do you start with good old reliable like BKB?
I don't think you want to rush a BKB, so I would say you go for like drums, maybe armlet, some sort of like damagey items. I think those are the main ones I would look at. Or you go for an early blink, but they need someone to have a blink who's in pretty much an instant stun. Tidehunter's okay, but that's such a long cooldown ultimate, so If he doesn't go Blink first, I'd like to see him go back for it. Maybe you get Drums first here to go with the bottle, and then go into your your Blink
damagey
dagger.
items. The damagey items.
Damagey.
Though. The late game damagey items are what can really turn it for either
Dyer's
team.
top
Is that now a
tower is
word?
under
I
attack.
don't know, you
Damagey.
tell me.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying to come up with a new lexicon here of a smoke from Malaysia heading top. There's a Mystic Flare ready. This could be huge. This will be the Blink Dagger if they find that opening. And Mushi baiting them in a bit. Could go very poorly. They're going to tuck away in the side shop here.
This is
I don't
game
know, though.
territory here.
Tidehunter is
First
TP and
Archer.
Ravage. They do not want to fight near the tower. Mushi needs to bait this. Looks like he's going to try.
He hides up back towards the creeps. Resumes his last hitting fashion where Ohio continues to camp it about, waiting to put that Stampede to use and secure a Blink Dagger with a good pick off here. As
They cannot. If they use this offensively, they are going to get wrecked by the Tidehunter under the tower. So they either need to fight away from the
Radiant's
tower,
middle
or
tower is under
they
attack.
need to just not use the Stampede offensively. They have to walk in and then retreat out. So we'll see. Still not finding that opening. I'd like to see them drop down a ward if they're going to set this ambush, but right now they're playing in the blind. Ohio's still patiently waiting. This could be his opening now.
moving forward, though it's not going to be there.
Hello?
They're just a lot of patient
What?
play.
What is going on here? Come on, Ohio, do something!
There they go. Okay, now they get it on through. Sunstrike there, but it's not even necessary as Ohio immediately runs right on through and takes down Vengeful Spirit now. Kenshi trying to get away from this one. Still level 5 will go down. There's your Ravage as he makes it to the top of Mushi. Right in the middle of it all. Takes the full ultimate and goes down once
What is
more.
Mushi doing? What was the point of that? That Wraith King was so dead
Radiant's
anyway.
top
Even if he
tower
dies,
is under
no big
attack.
deal. It looks like Mushi might even be trying to rush and Midas. If he wanted his treads, he could have bought them already.
Radiant structures are
That was
fortified.
Mushi is just not playing well this game.
Radiant's
That's
top tower is
two.
under attack.
The first Blink mid not so bad because he didn't know the supports were going to be there, but that was just an idiotic play, honestly.
This is not the game you want to be doing
Radiant's top tower
that kind of
has
stuff
fallen.
on. This is
Some-
either team's tournament life on the line, and
Sometimes there will be situations where as an AM you can like blink in mono burn somebody so they can't cast a spell, but there are 4 heroes there. How's he going to mono burn them all before they cast their spells? That was never going to work. So, and especially when you're rushing Midas, you can't afford to be dying. I mean, maybe he will just go treads, but he's also picked up a bottle. We're going to have it go though.
Ooh, they fire back immediately, blink forward, whips first on the hoof stomp, doesn't pull it out yet. Sunstrike, but there they do get a hold of Vengeful Spirit, goes down once more, but looking to fire back.
Dire
First departure now.
structures are
Gush is going to slow down
fortified.
Wraith King. This is looking like a bit of
Dire's
deja vu
middle
as they will
tower
take
is
down
under
Wraith King
attack.
again. Still not his level 6, so can't fight back with the second life. Not like it would have mattered. He would have just gone down 2 times at that point, but still support for support at the end of it. First departure seemed to always be at the right opportunity to be able to get something back here. And Team Malaysia just looked a little more desperate to try to get some kills for their lack of big plays so far.
Another death for the Wraith King before he hits level 6. That's pretty unfortunate. And yeah, Imushi seems intent on a Midas at this point. Still not spending his gold, and I
Dire's
think this
top
Midas
tower
can
is
actually
under
work
attack.
because they have this really early Centaur Blink Dagger. But he just needs to be careful not to die anymore. Mushi has to play very defensively, should only be split pushing. Don't come to fights for the next like 10-15 minutes probably. Just constantly count on your team to find pickoffs. They have the Centaur initiation, the follow-up for Mystic Flare, Sunstrike, and then it's on Malaysia to be very careful about where they pick their fights. Again, if they fight under a tower when Ravage is up, they're probably
Dire's
getting wrecked
bottom
because they'll be
tower is under
4v5.
attack.
First departure of a lot of stuns, good AoE follow-up, and just a lot of burst damage. So trust in Ohio, trust in your Centaur. Don't come to fights, and well, speaking of Ohio, he
Jump
delivers
in, hoof
again.
Stomp. Man, that was just a nice and easy setup right there for KYXY to finish it off with that Sunstrike. They get a nice sweet grab, and it's going to be Vengeful down again 3 times now. She's been taken apart, so she goes right on back, and
Radiant's
Team
middle
Malaysia want to
tower
finish
is
off
under
what they
attack.
started on this tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. They
Dire's
invest
bottom
everyone but
tower is
Mushi,
under
who's still
attack.
persistent, farming mid lane. You know, needs to be able to finish out that Midas. He started already and is slowly falling behind as far as quota, so Team Malaysia pull back. Don't feel comfortable going for the finishing blow right there, and your tower now down to 141 life.
They should know this cliff is warded because someone just got obviously picked off from that. They actually do. They're going to ping, and then they smoke all the way back. So I guess not having a sentry, they don't want to get spotted out by that observer. And nice movement from them. They're going to run into Kenshi. He's already skilled his ult. we see like Zai will just save that ult point until he feels it's going to be worthwhile. Because if he dies once here, he may well die twice. And there's your multicast ignite to start. Now the chase is on.
But he's getting close to that mid lane where there is help.
Dyer's
So
middle
you see
tower
now,
is
first
under
departure.
attack.
that
They don't
smoke
wanna
unit,
chase that far.
They take the high ground instead. They see that KYXY has already moved on to the mid tier 1 tower. And they might want to do something about it. Blink forward, no Ravage pulled out yet, and instead goes for the Gush. But the follow-up Stormhammer, it just takes 2 big slashes coming out from Miracle to finish off that Invoker. Now Stampede going to be pulled out defensively to allow Ohio to make his escape up and above.
And
But you also see
kill the
takedown
Medusa.
Medusa, yes. Right
Yeah.
there on the bottom. Conveniently once more simultaneous action.
Yep. that one
Radiant's
was
middle tower is under
exactly
attack.
at the same time, so no opportunity
Dyer's
to catch
bottom
both.
tower
But
is under attack.
Miracle goes for his early Blink Dagger, and now they're going to have a Blink Dagger
Dyer's
on him.
bottom
They have
tower
the Blink
has
on Hana.
fallen.
Scary
Radiant's
time for
middle tower
Malaysia,
is
where
under attack.
Anti-Mage has gone for a Midas. He will have an extremely late Battle Fury. As a result,
Dyer's
probably
top
looking at like
tower
20
and
minutes
Radiant's
plus,
middle
if he even
tower
goes
has
for it. I mean, I think you have to go Battle Fury this game. I'm just gonna assume he is. In which case, it's gonna be very late. You have Invoker going Exhort build. KOXY now has a Yule's good solo pick-off potential. Hold that thought. They want to go mid on Kenshi. He still has his ult though. I'm not sure about this.
Forward, there's the Storm. They get him down the first time here. Are Malaysia going to look to counter? KYXY thinking about it here. Sunstrike jump in. Ohio locks him in his place, but the Ravage on the return! Ohio's actually going to be going down on his Centaur, and his first departure get the first kill here, but now it looks like they want to call out the retreat and walk away with what they got. Though that Yules has other ideas. They lock Miracle in his place, but the swap pulls him up to the high ground after he gets the Stormhammer off onto KYXY. Now very low. It's Lubby looking to right-click him down. Won't overcommit. Oh, the Mana Void not going to be enough to finish off your Tidehunter. Mushi presses forward, but they come up short. First departure, after a big, long-winded fight, just walk away with the 1 takedown on your Centaur.
They're just so weak at fights right now. Invoker, I think, just got the point in Wex. Yeah, so he didn't even have his AoE combo. It will change a bit now. You can see the Meteor Deafening Blast along with the Sunstrike potentially once he gets to level 2 Exhort. He'll be able to invoke these spells more quickly, but yeah, it's they're just weak. They have a Midas on Mushi. Kenshi has absolutely nothing on his Wraith King. His ult was finally used, so now he's got to be more careful about his movement, and it's like 80-90% on Ohio to make the plays. He's got to set up all the initiations. At the same time, First Departure have a team full of heroes that can do this. The Sven with the Blink Dagger, the Tide with the Blink, Ogre who can probably just walk in and bait out spells. Like, there's just so much pressure on Ohio, and just in general for Malaysia, I worry because if you have one hero who has to do everything, and it's a lot of tanks that can live through that burst, you can easily get turned on.
First Departure seem to have a lot of good counter initiators too. When Ohio goes in and gets to start it off, yeah, they get the 1 pickoff, but you got Ravage coming back. Stonegaze going to be there at the ready. A good setup of a Stormhammer from your Sven. He's going to get right in there and just follow up with big cleave damage. And
bottom tower is under
Team
attack.
Malaysia, they have to hope that they can withstand that possible counterback punch. And now they move as a unit here.
They might find Miracle. That would be a big pick. Nope.
Jump right in. They get Tidehunter instead. The Mystic Flare helps that bit of burst. They even use the Stampede for this one. On the low ground, they're making it go for Lubby. While it looks like Miracle pressing on forward. Looking to go on KYXY here. There's your Stormhammer. Right-clicks once, right-clicks twice. But not going to be enough. He makes his way on out.
Plays from Ohio. He got the stomp on 2. So clutch.
There's your Stonegaze though, Pelosin. Oh, the last right-click catches on KYXY. It's a long-range one, and he obviously sees that, but can't quite move on forward. Oh! Quick blink avoids the Stormhammer there from Miracle. Now First Departure trying to get a hold of something, grasping at straws as far as kills on the side of Malaysia. And
Space created, though. Mushi, top lane, able to push it in. He has his Claymore up now. 1,800 gold in the bank. They're going to fight mid. Miracle gets swapped out. Very low. Manda going down here. Lubby going to drop Ohio. As that blink fairly soon. Concussive shot keeps Hana out, preventing his blink ravage. And, I mean, that's I would say 4 protect 1. Oh, Mushi into the pit looking for this Miracle pickoff. He's going to get mana voided. Out of mana, out of options. What a huge kill for Mushi.
big redemption.
Oh, he hunted him around the world, and it's this ward that they never dewarded that spotted that a lot of that early movement. So.
Man, how quick did he get down there? It felt like he just told me that space created as he's up farming top
He
lane.
immediately TP'd and just ran all the way
look away,
down.
I look back, and he's after the Roche pit, getting a kill.
Yeah, that was all on his team's great wards, because they had this ward here that spotted the Sven's rotation, and this one that gives you just a little bit of vision around outside the Roche pit. So Mushi gets the tower, he then kills the Sven, and on the back of that, I think he's pretty much got his Battle Fury. So around 20 minutes, now pressure's on First Departure, because Miracle has not gone for more of a late game oriented build. I mean, you can still farm on Sven, but you're not going to keep up with an AM with the Battle Fury. You have the Medusa for Pulasin, but a Midas Battle Fury anti-mage will outfarm a Medusa. Just too mobile, will take towers down. The Medusa has to stick with her team, has to worry about getting
Dire's
ganked by the
middle tower
Centaur
is under
a lot
attack.
more, and
Dire's
the
structures are fortified.
I'm not sure if KOX even goes that route. Hold that thought. We're going to have a little skirmish here, perhaps, near the Dire Ancients, and they go into Miracle.
They go, they see him right by the Ancient Pit, and they just make quick work of him. It's just the simple lockdown combo we saw in the draft from the Centaur and the Skywrath Mage, and even your big badass Sven is not going to be able to get a whole lot, and now he's just definitely sweating it, hoping he can get a hold of this BKB. He's been working forward. He's got the Ogre Club, but still plenty of components away, and
Ohio is carrying so hard. 3-1-7. They have 13 kills. He's been 10. And, I mean, look at his team. Midas Invoker, Midas Anti-Mage, who just got his Battle Fury. Like, they've been 3v5, basically, aside from Sunstrikes for most of this game. Ohio doing work. Secret MVP of this team, but it's not over yet, by any means. First Departure still have a really strong team fight, mass AoE, and I think this is where Malaysia, Dakota just want to play keep away. Go for pickoffs, but only when you kind of have an idea where those supports are. That's where warding is important, and right now they still have a fantastic
Dire's
warding
middle
with these
tower
Ancients.
is under
yeah, they feel
attack.
confident also with doing these bit of side pushes here with Wraith King leveled up and having his ult at the ready
Dire's
now. They
middle
can leave him in the
tower has
front
fallen.
like this, and you can have plenty of space for your Invoker to maybe contribute from the outside, but there's going to be your Sunstrike. They're committing a lot, Deafening Blast, and Wraith King's like, I'll just go right in closer for it for my reincarnation, and now,
Where's the media? I think he
Dire's
summoned
structures
Sport
are
Spirits by
fortified.
mistake there.
okay, they swap him back. This could be a free kill here on your Wraith King. I mean, they do have to sweat it out going through both of those lives, but yeah, your Invoker not really having a lot
He
to
invoked
offer.
Deafening Blast, then he invoked Forge Spirits, so either he just didn't think he would get a kill, or he misinvoked, but generally you'd want to go Meteor there, so I don't think it matters. He only has a single point Wex. Exhort isn't even max, so it's not that scary of a combo. And the pushback from Deafening Blast.
Uh-oh, Miracle jumps right onto Mushi with a hammer and just immediately takes him apart. Mushi just doesn't know what the hell happened. He was just mining his Omidus with a DD, mind you, farming creeps, and Miracle's like, hi, how you doing? Jumps right on forward,
Needs to
Stormhammer.
spend his gold. Needs some stats at this point. Mushi, Battle Fury complete, should buy his treads for sure. I mean, maybe he's thinking about getting boots of travel, but you need some HP on this
Yeah.
anti-mage, or you will just...
It took
Sven should not be able to
points.
solo kill you at this stage. That's for sure.
And as soon as he gets a hold of that BKB, I imagine there's something more devastating like a crit. And at that point, if you don't have the life pool to back up some heavy hits, Sven's going to just take you apart. Very similar to that, so Miracle walks away with that kill.
Bottom
and
lane, there's
it's gonna be
an
much closer,
initiation
but
from Ohio, goes in with the Blink Stomp. Mystic Flare follow-up.
Something good may begin.
They did use a Sunstrike, though I don't think it was even needed. And,
Dire's
yeah, just
bottom
that
tower
classic
is under
Centaur
attack.
jump in to get the kill once again.
Radiant's top tower
The
is
gap
under
closing
attack.
with Ohio once he gets a hold of this Blink Dagger and now a Force Staff. It's just a bit ridiculous. He could set anything up, and he's been doing it well this whole game, and it's just so easy to do when you got a Skywrath Mage. Long range to work with, insta silence, and the heavy burst, of course, of that Mystic Flare. Still only level 1. I'd love to get level 11 so he can have that little bit of extra burst. But here we go, creeping on forward.
They should back.
Ooh, can't quite find the Ravage he was hoping for. Ohio is still here. Has a TP and, of course, the Blink and Force to get away, but he wants to wait it out for now and just kind of see how things develop.
Oh, Ty just got mech. Yeah, they really... They cannot take big fights. Not against this. Not when Ravage is up, Medusa ult's ready. They have to split push. They have to fight pickoffs. First Departure won a 5-man, but that's the power of the anti-mage. Whilst that Invoker could be off at split pushing the mid lane with Forge Spirits, perhaps, which he is actually doing. You see one lonely Forge Spirit wandering in, so... Yeah, they're playing this correctly right now. Malaysia just need to keep on doing what they're doing. Avoid those fights and just go for pickoffs.
Yep. Ohio's still going to be waiting it out right here. It looks like for First Departure, their objective is trying to start taking these towers.
Uh-oh, Mushi just blinked onto Miracle in the Dire Jungle.
Oh,
There's
here
a
we go
stun.
again.
Not a
Oh,
kill.
man. One more. Oh,
He
last
had his
second
treads
blink.
this time. There you go.
Radiant's
Tread
bottom
saving
tower
lives.
has fallen.
Very happy about that investment, I'd have to say. Not
Yeah.
this time. Ooh, it was real close, and had Miracle had the BKB on hand, it would have also gone the other way. So we should
I was
think
just
he's
thinking, like,
star.
we've seen this movie before. Ohio gonna walk right into First Departure. Oh no.
Oh man,
That's a
3
big...
on 1. Stampede. Oh, nice Force Staff, but no. The burn is there. Medusa is able to get the last little notch, and Ohio does go down. It's one grab right there from First Departure's point of view, and as they sweep through the Malaysia jungle, they go towards the bottom. KYXY eats the Gush and quickly goes into Ghost Walk just to be safe.
Yeah, they still hold Ravage. They may want to try and go for a Roshan here. Sven's God Strength is cooling down, though, and Mushi will split push. So I think if you're Malaysia, you let this Rosh go. Maybe you try to pick off one hero elsewhere on the map, and you just split push with the AM.
Miracle.
Miracle's
Dyer's
expecting
top
Mushi
tower
to
is
split
under
push,
attack.
and yeah, this could end very poorly. They've got
Radiant's
Medusa in
middle tower
position.
is
Got
under
BKB
attack.
too, so that
No
a little bit
ultimate,
extra
though.
damage. Boom! No ultimate, so not quite the damage. Is it going to be enough to stop Mushi from going away? His blink.
If they have God Strength, I think that's a kill.
Nope, not going to happen. No one really expends a whole lot. Just Mushi loses a little bit of his health bar and leaves that top farming area. And now back on mid lane. These supports, though, checking base with them. It's Vengeful Spirit with the medallion to her name. Ogre also not getting anything towards maybe a luxury kind of Agnum's build. They're still just kind of doing their support thing and not looking towards their own personal item investments. On the side of Team Malaysia, you're seeing the Kenshi look to throw together the Blade Mail, and for your Skywrath Mage, it's just Arcane Boot, but 1,300 gold.
It's a good Blade Mail game, especially up
Yeah.
against this Sven. Although he does have BKB, but if the BKB is down and he goes on you with God Strength, man, he will just get wrecked by that. So I think that's a pretty good choice. Ogre can really be punished by it as well, and he will not be building a BKB anytime soon. So nice multicast, bro, as you bring him down like below half health and then respawn and hopefully kill him off. They'll go for a Roshan here. I don't really see Malaysia contesting this at all, but I think this is where just keep on farming, push in the mid lane with your Invoker, maybe try to harass them in the pit. It's going to be too late to
Dyer's
contest,
top
though.
tower
They need to back
is
off.
under attack.
Lord Spirit walks in, that just harasses them a bit with concussive shot.
Dyer's
But yeah,
top
Mushi
Team
gets a
tower
tier
Malaysia,
two
they
top.
don't get anything, and in exchange
Dyer's
they do
middle
fire
tower
their own
is under
tower
attack.
grab, and Mushi just continues to just
Use that Midas, dude.
work his
Get that
top
value,
lane.
Mushi. All right, there you
it
go.
is. Big Bad Bird's got to go. Nice
Dyer's
grab,
top
1,800
tower
gold
is
for
under
him.
attack.
Mushi
After
clearly
the
never
threats.
watched Sesame Street as a child. Gotta
You'd have
treat
a
those
little,
birds
you'd have
well.
a little
you
more
know?
respect. I mean, I would imagine that Big Bad Bird's pretty near the extinct mark. He was the only one I've seen, so.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many of those hideous creatures.
Ohio, man, look at this guy, just like a statue, planted himself on this high ground, like, come at me, bro. I'm going to scout things out here, and been a great pacemaker for Team Malaysia thus far. Did get caught out in the bad net of things previously, but, first departure, still farming about together. You see Pelosi throw together the Manta, but, I mean, this is a arms race against an anti-mage with a Midas to work at now. Here, Miracle, going to be used up, unable to persist forward towards, uh-oh, there's the blink.
Nice
but
Ghost Walk.
Immediate Ghost Walk, they can't see him.
Yeah, KYXY, he's got to take some risks because the AM cannot split push fast enough alone to draw all of First Departure back, but he's taken just enough risks, hasn't really been dying too much considering his awful lane. He's done pretty well in the mid game here, and they just keep, same game plan, just keep on stalling. You split push faster now as your AM gets more farm. There is a lot more kill potential for Miracle though with that Mask of Madness. They'll have to be careful. Palasan could be caught out here if he walks towards this cliff. Backups inbound. They might be able to find a pick-off. No, Medusa not going to walk that way.
Scout it out with an illusion. Before the illusion maybe even sees, so he blinks away, just not to give that bit of extra intel that he's been scouting there that whole time, like a full minute.
I would really like to see Malaysia get more wards up. Mushi's just been living in this top jungle, but they should have wards so that he's less likely to get caught. They're going to drop one down now. I think you can even put one maybe in the
Radiant's
lane over
bottom
here,
tower is under
or you could
attack.
go for the standard like hill ward, but that's a pretty obvious D ward location, so we'll see. Yeah, he's going to go for a sentry on the high ground. He'll drop the ward over here. This is out of range of the standard hill
Dyer's
sentry,
top
so
tower is under
I like these
attack.
wards a lot from that, and it's what they need so Mushi can be aggressive with his split push. Now he can just live in the jungle, and unless they smoke, they're not going to catch him out.
Dyer's
It's
middle
like
tower is
Invoker
under
trying to
attack.
slow down the push, throws out that
Radiant's bottom
meatball,
tower is under
trying to
attack.
keep Miracle back with indigestion, it looks like, but there's your Centaur call out. It's just a pullback, it looks like, for the top lane. I'm not seeing anything, LD. I don't think,
There was someone in the woods for First Departure, but they disappeared, so yeah, not able to find anything with that Stampede. Yeah, that's the other good thing about this, is you get some good wards up in the enemy jungle. If they ever try to come here, you can kill them with the Centaur. Or the AM can find solo kills, so at the same time, it's You occupy our jungle, we'll occupy yours from first departure.
It's a bit of a mirror right now between both teams, as Miracle's been the one to split push his bottom lane quite a bit while they have their Tidehunter waiting in the wings. But top lane, though, we're going to see action happen here. It's a Stone Gaze
Careful,
pressing on forward.
Mushi.
Mushi is going to be forced to blink on back and away. He's
My
down to
thanks.
quarter life now, which is only like 500, 400 on your little anti-mage. And he blinks, goes immediately for the TP, and will make his way out. So first departure commit a lot to go for this defense up here. They don't get a hold of anything. They don't use anything to get a hold of anything. But more back and forth we go, it would seem.
It's about that time of the game where both teams might want to consider investing in a gem. First departure, don't want this AM to have the vision he does. Also, they're up against the Invoker Ghost Walk, though that's not a huge issue. And for Team Malaysia, just maintaining map control. Like, you make that play for Mushi. Next step can be you go into your jungle with the gem, de-ward anything first departure has there. Currently they have nothing, but I imagine they will look to plop some wards down there eventually. And yeah, just reestablish map control. So I think both teams should be looking at a gem soon. For now, first departure.
Radiant's top
trying to
tower
group
is
his
under
3
attack.
top. We'll see the Ohio into the tree line, and yeah, curious to see
Dire's
if they're going to be able to take
bottom
this
tower
tower
is
top
under
lane.
attack.
This Medusa is bloodlusted.
Dire's
Starting to hit reasonably
structures
hard,
are
but still does not
fortified.
match the anti-mage split push as of yet. Only the Sven can really kill buildings as quickly.
I'm so curious to see, though, first departure. If they're put at a point where they have to go for a high ground
Ana.
defensive split push, they jump in on bottom lane. Ana in trouble, forced to pull out the Ravage, catches on a lot, but he has to walk out for Mystic Flare. He's very low, will go down. The rotations are slowly coming in, but is it too late? Wave of Terror flies out, scouts out net, hiding in the woods. He's going to get chopped down from Miracle. And now it's the first life of your Wraith King. All the precious cores do make their escape, but the supports, the backup, the foundation, they will go down. Malaysia lose 2 supports for the 1 takedown of Tidehunter, who does use the Ravage. But
Yeah, I'd say about even there.
Yeah.
And if there was like a Roche for first departure to get, then it would be a first departure victory. But Roche still has, let's see, 4 minutes. So yeah, I think that's decent for both teams. No clear victor. It means Mushi can be much more aggressive now. He actually is going to go straight into a Basher. I'm not sure I like this build. Is he really going to go toe-to-toe with the Sven?
the thing is if he's going toe-to-toe with Sven, and Sven can kind of withstand the initial brunt of it, you have Medusa in the back lines who's going to be also bringing in big, hefty damage, and Anti-Mage can't really just unnecessarily right-click if there's a Stone Gaze also being popped, so I'm curious to see how it's going to work out for Team Malaysia when not even on top of that you have Hana who can move in with a big Ravage. It feels like they're going to have their arms full in some of these team fights, and if they're not all fully focused on the objective at hand, it can become
Yeah,
troublesome.
I don't mind the Basher at all. I think it's a good choice later on against the Sven, but at this stage of the game, you mostly just want to split push. Who are the easy solo kills? Your Venge, who has 10 armor and a medallion? Not that easy. Oh, in the river, we'll see Palossum pick up the Scarlet Mage. Now looking for Kenshi. He managed to turn him to stone. A quick double kill for your Medusa. And Mushi unable to find those kills in the meantime. That was just awkward.
Those supports had just come back from their unfortunate engagement there in the bottom lane, and then they just hand over a couple more free kills.
Yeah, they're kind of on the feed train at this
Towards
point. I mean, I
Medusa.
say that the dire supports are also not finding much, but unfortunate. And the Palossum gets caught up mid. Hey, he gets the first
No
hit bash
mana.
for Mushi.
No man.
Oh, he mono voids the Lincoln
Oh.
Sphere. No, Mushi. I mean, he doesn't have any other way to remove it, so.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the right click is.
But
not
that
able
would
to
have
bring
just
down both,
wrecked
but-
the Medusa.
Oh yeah.
If they're able to pop the Lincoln Sphere, she would have just died. 1,100 mana gone. I mean, now it's regen.
She's happy she got that Lincoln Sphere though. That's for sure. And now she has a butterfly. It's a butterfly on your Medusa. And-
Mushi gets a first hit bash. Hey, if you're gonna get first hit bashes like this, maybe he should be going for these aggressive plays. He'll blink in again, reads one more bash, he gets it too.
The bash.
Thou art
Cuba.
purified.
Where's your soundboard, man? We need some NBA Jam music here.
This game is very serious.
Dire's
I'm
middle
trying to
tower
bring
is
a little
under
bit
attack.
of
A little smoke here from Malaysia. They've got eyes on Miracle. He does have a BKB though. They need instant stuff.
Yep, they got it. Jump forward, hoof stomp, sunstrike, mystic flare, more than enough. A jump in though from your Tidehunter, not in time, and
That's
could
a
almost
big
be
kill.
caught out. He walks away, but it's a big grab, taking down your Sven, and now the game's all evened up here for Team Malaysia. They get a little bit of extra gold from that one. Still your top net worth queen, being that Medusa, but now she's under a little bit of pressure here. Mushi moves forward.
Uh-oh, there's Ravage ready. He's gonna bait it out. Mushi.
The Ravage!
He didn't even have vision of that Tide. I mean, he saw him leave the jungle, but that was it. So I think more lucky than anything. Still, very unfortunate now. No Ravage. This is an opportunity for Malaysia to get aggressive.
They do. They take down the tower
Dyer's
immediately,
middle
and
tower has
we might even
fallen.
see them here flirt with the high ground now, as that big team fight
Dyer's
presence
top
is
tower
just taken
is
away
under
here.
attack.
They're baiting mid while they split push top. So they actually force out a TP from the tier 2, or the tier 3 mid to the tier 3 top. But no Ravage, they can't really go in, and then they lose their Venge as the rest of the team tried to retreat out. So Malaysia just outmaneuvering first departure here. A little bit, just a little bit, but you get them cornered in with the anti-mage on your team, you can kind of keep them that way. And with no Ravage, first departure can't really go for those aggressive plays outside of their base. Yeah, I was going to question the Basher.
Dyer's
Clearly
top
Mushi knew
tower
that he
is
would
under
have
attack.
instant first hit bashes multiple times, so he knew something we didn't. But I think from here you'll just see him go back for either the Abyssal Blade or Butterfly into BKB, and that's where things get scary. When he manages to complete that Butterfly BKB, he can go just straight in, man mode on the Sven, solo kill him. If the Medusa stone gazes, you just dodge away from her and try to wait for that to end. And yeah, being able to solo kill the Sven is very important, because not only are you getting the kill, but you're also preventing him from wrecking your team, which, as we've seen, Miracle does insane damage when he's allowed to auto-attack.
In first departure, they really need to just kind of stick with the buddy-buddy system. It's what works best for them. Big team fights, having everyone involved and getting the best out of everything. And Team Malaysia are doing a nice job. They're spreading first departure thin. They're keeping pressure from top to bottom on the map, and when they don't have everyone committing here, this kind of stuff happens. They almost make a go here on Medusa, but the Stampede, they immediately make the call off, and they just jump right back out. As soon as they see some behind the Medusa, they don't want any part of it. That's how safe Team Malaysia are playing. That's a smart choice. It's the final game here of this best of 3.
Yeah, winner to play Invasion. The odds on Dota 2 Lounge actually have both had whoever wins this is favored, and you know obviously the voters don't know who's going to play. And I kind of agree with that. I would probably favor Malaysia or First Departure over Invasion, even though they managed to make it to the grand
Radiant's
finals.
bottom
So.
tower is
I
under
watched
attack.
those games. They got like Death Prophet, Razor a lot. I don't think you'll see them get those heroes in their upcoming series, or if they do, it'll be for a
Radiant
reason.
structures
So
are
I
fortified.
feel like the winner of this will
Radiant's bottom
has a
tower
better than
is
even
under
chance.
attack.
Oh, hold that thought. Ohio gonna get caught up, but he does have a BKB. He's forced to use it though. He's the gem carrier. Does he really want to go back in? Mushi is
Dyer's
breaking base
top
high
tower
ground,
is under
looking for a lane of
attack.
Brax. It's all just stalling tactics.
Dyer's
First
top
departure, got to
tower
get the
has
hell out.
fallen.
Get back. It's just Miracle and Mushi now going at it, but Miracle enough
Dyer's
alone to push him
middle
back, so we
tower
might see
is
something
under
break out.
attack.
Bottom lane, we will. Moving on to Kenshi, there's going to be the stun. He pops his Blade Mail, throws a stun of his own. Stone Gaze is going to be popping. Medusa can't quite find the target. There's the spread we were talking about.
Dyer's top
They make their
barracks
target
are under
Wraith King,
attack.
but they'll have to take him down twice, which is taking a
Dyer's
bit of
structures
extra time
are
than they like, because
fortified.
top lane, they're still tussling. Mushi is just moving in and out, keeping Miracle out from the engagement on the bottom and forcing him to be the defensive stand. Now Pelosa does clean up,
Radiant's
gets an extra
bottom
kill right
tower
there,
has
finishing off
been
the Wraith
denied.
King and moving on to an unstoppable streak. Tier 2 also falls, but it was actually
Dyer's
denied
top barracks
from
are under
Invoker.
Uh-oh,
attack.
they're setting up a backstab here. Ohio and Net looking to go back in. Maybe. Stomp catches out two. Mystic Flare follow up. Sunstrike. No! There's a great defensive swap. Now Ohio trapped out. He will force Staff away. Mushi has already left that top lane, but Lubby will end up going down. Nice pick off for Ned, and chases on for a little bit more. Ogre carrying the gem, but he doesn't have a TP ready for 4 seconds. Oh, he can't afford to lose this gem. It's a precious payload to take back to the base. Can he make it out? Silence.
Oh, he even commits a Stampede to try to get in there quicker, but nope. That Ogre too fat.
So yeah, Mushi got Abyssal Blade. So he Abyssal the Sven in the Dire base, then right-clicked him a bunch. And he's like, oh wait, Sven's out of mana. He has a really small mana pool, so Mana Void can't kill him. Mushi is still nowhere near being able to go toe-to-toe to the Sven. He needs a Butterfly. He might need the BKB as well, just because that one Stormbolt gives Sven like an extra 4 or 5 auto attacks, which can often be enough to kill him. So it's just Anti-Mage in this draft is not really going to be that good of a man mode hero, but he's going to find this pick off on Peloson.
Oh, this is a big grab. That Mana Void, now no mana to work with. Forced to pull out the Stone Gaze. Ravage, however, comes out. Mushi goes down. They have enough burst potential to take out him and take out Ohio. Big turnaround right now for First Departure as 2 from Team Malaysia go down. They just beautifully segue now towards the Roche Pit. Can they get it quick enough? Both Wraith King and Invoker know this is happening. It's going to be KYXY going on forward immediately. Force Staff assisted. Going with the Shiva's big meatball and a big choke point. Can he add big offensive damage here to prevent them from moving forward? Swap back though. Your Invoker is going to go down. Another excellent grab. Peloson picks it up. First Departure grab another. They are reaching right now as far as trying to stop First Departure, and they can't.
They could have just been split pushing
Roshan
top.
has
They did
fallen
not have
to
to
the
take
die.
that fight. That's for sure. Anti-Mage, he's let the creeps get to this tower, but Mushi could have probably had the creeps like around here as the Roshan was happening and at least forced the TP back, if not gone for the high ground push. So you do have to question the decision making a little bit. I still feel like going for the... He got lucky on the bashes, ended up getting a kill earlier, almost got another kill, but I really just feel like you go for Butterfly here. Makes it much harder for the Sven to kill you all this time. It also helps you split push a lot more. Abyssal Blade's not that great of a split pushing
Radiant's
item,
middle
unless you're able
tower
to
is
solo
under
kill the
attack.
heroes that TP in, but can't really solo kill the Medusa, 'cause she's got a Linked Sphere now in Aegis. Can't solo kill the Sven, we saw that earlier. And the other heroes aren't going to be the ones TPing back, so... Just not sure about the
Radiant's
Mushi
middle
item
tower
selections,
has
from the early
fallen.
Midas to the Abyssal Blade pickup, and on top of that, trying to fight all the time. He's just... Anti-Mage is just not that great of a man fight carry against something like Miracle. He's going to try for, though, maybe with the Sunstrike. They have a Mana Void. They're trying to find this opening. Miracle forced to BKB, turn tail and run.
Radiant's top
Around the
tower
trees he
is
goes.
under
Mushi
attack.
waiting, gets the bash. This should be the kill. That's
Well,
a
he
big
keeps
one.
ring around the Rosie,
He's
and
what a bash
Radiant's
lord,
top
dude.
tower
gets it
has
again. He
fallen.
just keeps circling around that tree. Must have been 3 or 4 times.
Radiant's
Space
top
created
tower
as
is
top
under
lane,
attack.
though. They taking the high ground, and it's Pelosin leading out the charge on your Medusa. Genji walks forward, gets stunned not once but twice. Now brought down very low. Does have his ultimate back up. Oh, big damage though. Mystic Flare meatball, and your Medusa quickly goes back towards the backhand side. Very low with mana and health. Can they bring her down though? Oh, very nice follow-up from Ohio, but she still has a second life to work with here. They surround her corpse. She comes right back up. Meanwhile, on the side,
They have
Mushi
Ravage, but Mushi
zoning
won't
out.
let Hama do it.
He's taking his mana all the way down so he can't even get it in there. Big Stone Gaze, however, Medusa right-clicking out big damage. Mushi has to step in, slams the R button, and cleans out that Medusa. 4 out. It's Team Malaysia now, finally being able to step up and pull a huge fight there.
Alright, well, if they go on to win this game, we're definitely getting some quality NBA Jam riffs in here. Space Jam at the very least. My goodness. What a Mana Void. He held that for ages. He could have used it to kill the Ogre. He didn't. Mushi, despite some miscues earlier, definitely saved that fight. Stuck on the Tidehunter, as you mentioned. Didn't let him get off the Blink Ravage. Then went back for the Medusa, holds the Mana Void until the Linked Sphere is down, and gets the kill on her. Huge plays from here. Mid
Dyer's top
actually a
barracks has
bit of a
fallen.
miscast here from the Ogre.
No more mana. Steps back. They do get the racks down, and it does force out
Dyer's
the buyback
middle
from your
tower is under
Tidehunter,
attack.
and they also add a little bit of pressure towards this mid lane, but huge fight there for Team Malaysia, feeling that much more confident, but we'll see here. First departure, do they immediately bounce back? They still have that Ravage to use if they want, and they know Team Malaysia are on the retreat here. Mushi had not much mana to work with, and they could expect them to just go back to a farm rotation through their own jungle. We'll see if they move on. They have the smoke. It's on the hand of Ogre if they want to put it to use, but we'll see. Miracle continues to farm. Has an AC, so he's big. He's pretty swole here, but...
They definitely have more damage output. Like, super stacked Medusa. Pretty glass cannony as far as Medusas go, but with that MKB pickup, generally it's not something we see unless there's actually evasion in the game, which currently there's not. But yeah, it's a stacked Medusa, and of course remember, if heroes get Stone Gaze, they're getting hit even harder by that
yeah.
Sven as well. So first departure, gonna take a little breather here.
I kind of need one, to be honest with you. This game has been pretty...
Stressing me out, man.
It's all over the place, too.
Who's gonna face invasion?
It's a big deal, and you're feeling that that team would be the team to be the favorites to take the whole thing, so...
I feel like whoever wins this, I would favor them over Invasion, but a lot of it does come down to draft. First Departure got completely outdrafted both games against Invasion, and if that happens again, then you never know.
That's interesting. They did a bit of a self-swap right here just to remove some of the trees and I guess get a little bit of that extra vision. What?
He blinked into the trees, so she was just getting him out.
Oh, I didn't write the swap, so that would
Like
make
you
more
said,
sense.
need a bit of a breather. It's been a stressful game for everyone, casters included.
Yeah, well, I'm tuning in. I'm like that.
Mushi, watch out, man. Watch out, Mushi. This is not safe. There's a blink. Well, maybe it is. There's a blink.
Oh, wow, they pull up a stone gate, and Mushi's like, yeah, I'm not looking at you. Crazy.
Anti-Mage is just not the... Like, Mushi played that last fight very well, but unless he hits a huge Mana Void, his damage output will not be on the level of this Sven or Medusa, so he's got to rely more on... Just take advantage of the hero's strength, which is the incredible maneuverability. Split push, catch backline heroes out, assassinate heroes with the Abyssal Blade. Don't just try to man up on someone without your team, and he's wisely playing it fairly safe right now.
It doesn't seem like either. I'm seeing a lot of times when First Departure are fighting with both the Sven and the Medusa in these fights. I mean, it looked like before it was Mushi kind of tussling with Miracle at the bottom.
Miracle in the dire jungle. They need more, though. He's pinning himself out. But I don't know if that's going to save him now. Mystic Flare as well as your Sunstrike. Again, it's Ohio who delivers. These pickoffs from the Centaur. The funny thing was he pinged himself. I think he was telling his team, come smoke bait me, but they weren't in position. Now they want to go bottom, but without this Sven, it's not easy to kill off Mushi. Man, big pickoffs here. Malaysia's still hanging on a nice edge. If they let this Tide farm up his refresher, I'd really wonder if they can take it much later. But for now, they continue to find pickoffs and force him to come to fights.
And First Departure trying to get something from it on this bottom lane, but it seemed Malaysia were pushing on all fronts here. They got both KYXY and Kenji pushing down this mid lane. Top, you see as Pelosin makes the retreat to kind of go into the fence there. It's Ohio up with net on that Skywrath Mage, but mid lane seems to be the lane of choice.
Sven currently does have buyback ready. They got to be careful about this. They'll leave the... For now, the Wraith King in front. He gets swapped back into the tower. That's going to proc his ultimate. They still might just need to let him go. They're sending one top. The Centaur trying to do a bit of split pushing. Do not try to fight because that Sven could have buyback. In fact, he does. Kenshi will go down. That's okay. Melee Rex brought to half health, but smart decision making here from Malaysia. Losing your Wraith King, not the biggest deal. The main thing is really just not getting caught in a catastrophic team fight mid. So, we've seen them overextend at times, but they're slow rolling it and playing it correctly here.
Yeah, in a game that matters so much, I don't blame them whatsoever. Ohio does that bit of a push, 4 staffs away, and they're just trying to be the sheep herders and keeping First Departure back up and in their base. And whenever they feel like they could possibly make the routine to go out into their own jungle and find the farm, that's when those pickoffs happen, and that's when Malaysia just kind of take control of the game. Here's Miracle back from the dead now, pressed out this top lane, one of the lone farmers, but this time he needs to make sure he has people handy and nearby in case something does go down. 4 staff coming out here from Ogre to be able to de-ward and take that extra vision back from their own side, but it's First Departure just kind of cleaning up the mess that was presented before them there with Malaysia coming out big in that fight. And you know, what do you do if you're First Departure at this point, being able to just kind of come back? Do you try to stick together now and make a fight happen as a unit, or do you look for some sort of contention at this Roche pit when it pops up?
They really want the Aegis, so you definitely don't want to give that one up for free. Could try to catch out Mushi. We've seen that work a few times before. I still think they're in great shape late game. Like, we haven't seen them get the refresh on Tide. He's actually going to skip it, though. Goes for the Ghost Scepter. He had a Perseverance and he sold it. All right, well, that neuters their late game a lot, but I guess he just feels like he's so vulnerable to being blown up by this anti-mage that he needs to have something. Yeah, keep the lanes out so that if they try to sneak Roche, that anti-mage can't just clean out their base. They do have to be careful now, though, because mid and bottom racks, or tier 3s, not racks, both lanes exposed. So they're a bit vulnerable. They're going to look for a pickup here. Mushi, instant stun. That deeps.
Oh, they get it. He gets off the Manta, but can't get off anything else to get away, and the cleave is real. It's
that
miracle.
Was just a solo kill. The other two, the supports were like waddling in, but not even needed, dude. And this is an anti-mage who's gone for no heart, no BKB, no butterfly. I don't think BKB would have done much there because he's probably not poppy in time, but it's just such an offensive glass cannon build.
Seeing something like that, though, does now we need to consider building up more survivability, or are they still banking that he'll be just as elusive as he's ever been and be able to slip out from
I don't know what he
goes
like for
that,
now. Like, he could have gone for butterfly before the basher, and there would have been a window this game where Sven's probably not killing him because, yeah, you stun the anti-mage. He's rarely going to be like in the middle of a creep wave where you can just cleave on him, so the evasion will matter, and it will matter a lot. And
try to force out the buyback.
The thing is, now if he goes for a butterfly, which he does have that buyback, but forcing it would be huge. There's already an MKB on the Medusa. The Sven could probably buy one soon. I don't know how much an MKB would make a difference at this point, or a butterfly would, but it's more just the fact that he does no defensive items at all. Yeah, it's kind of a concern.
Miracle runs back to base, but he has Boots of Travel, so he just comes right back in. 4K gold on hand, and
there's still a glyph. I don't know if we'll have to use this. Not buyback. They're gonna try to hold it.
They're gonna go on Wraith King. He does get forced back out, but he does end up going down. Your ultimate to be used here. 15 seconds still on Mushi. Big Ravage as they press on forward with the Shivas on top of it. KYXY bursted down immediately. Your BKB Miracle pressing on forward, and now they kill out the supports. forcing 2 buybacks. Mushi is going to wait out his death timer. They lose 1 Rax here on the bottom, but Ohio locks out Luca. They take down the Ogre support. And Mushi, as he comes back, goes right down towards the mid lane. First Departure walk away with their victory,
Dire's
taking
top
down a
barracks
couple of
are
kills
under
and taking
attack.
down 1 Rax here, taking down the precious melee Rax.
They got to do something now. Anti-Mage has buyback. They already blew 2. Roche is going to respawn. They know Ravage is down. That's the big thing. If they don't do something now, Ravage is going to be back up. Dire Sight will possibly get an Aegis, and that could just be checkmate from Malaysia. You see how fast First Departure kill buildings. With a Sven with an AC, and Miracle, by the way, does have a completed MKB if he wants it. They're just going to get wrecked in team fights. This anti-mage is not going to be winning any head-to-head engagement, so rely on your Aegis, try to find pickoffs. It's looking more and more like this might just be First Departure's game, though. Oh, he doesn't go MKB. He actually goes for a Daedalus, so
Roshan has fallen to
I
the
guess
ring.
Butterfly's still semi-viable for Mushi, but he's got to get something defensive. 4k gold, maybe you just go Heart here. I don't know. It's just one of those games where you go past 30, 40 minutes and it's like, man,
Dire's courier
I wish
has been
Anti-Mage had
killed.
more item slots, because he's about as big as he's going to get. Dire Courier,
There's
sorry,
like a
Radiant
s-
Courier. Oh no, did they have a second Courier?
Yeah, they were scouting out the Roche pit, it looked like, with that courier.
Oh,
I didn't know
okay.
if that was their lone courier or not.
It
but
was their
they
second, because
see
they have
him and
one at
take
the
it down.
base. Taking a page out of Mushi, or Ice's playbook with the scouting Courier.
Could get a free cheese, you never know.
Yeah, it can be nice. More just to deny it to Malaysia, I think, than anything. But
Absolutely.
yeah, this anti-mage is falling off hard.
This is their best chance, though. I mean, the Ravage is now it's still down 35 seconds, and I feel like they're pressured. They smoke up now after they push forward the lane. They double back a bit to make sure they're out of range in any potential wards. They smoke up, and with Mushi, just I guess they're kind of putting him on that hook. in this
Miracle's
mid
gonna
lane.
TP. He's not pushing anymore. He's already TPing top where Mushi is gonna go. Mushi blinks
Oh,
in.
he
Oh,
goes in.
nobody got off the Abyssal. The swap's there defensively. Tornado coming through. Now Ohio looking for the stump. Gets basically nothing. Mushi gets shredded. Fortunately, has the Aegis. Will be coming back, but the rest of the team annihilated. Invoker trapped out. He's gonna head to the south, try and take down this lane of Rex instead. That ain't gonna happen. Everybody pursuing him out. 4 heroes dead. Count your Aegis, and he gets clipped by a 4x multi-Kez. I don't know if he dies here, but it doesn't even matter, I feel, at this point. I think Malaysia have just missed their window. You've gone ultra late game now, 50 minutes in against a Medusa, with a Venge and an Ogre back here up. So the damage are, the Howl, or Wave of Terror, Bloodlust, and a Sven, a Super Sven.
Man. And every time First Departure come up in these fights, they're getting a bit of that rubber band fact. I mean, if you're looking at the net worth, 2 different times, Team Malaysia has had a 7.5k, 8k gold lead, which has been immediately taken back. And Medusa has over 8k gold herself. Oh, First Departure reaping
Another
huge
buyback.
rewards.
That's
and
3 big buybacks. And they're going to go in with Mushi. Gets off the Bash to start. Didn't actually have the Abyssal Blade. Now, going to follow up with some creeps. He's finally gone for his Talisman of Evasion, but it just feels late and inadequate.
First Departure, they're antsy here. They know that the Aegis has already been taken down, and they're confident as ever. Their late game really, really shining here.
Radiant's middle
As
tower
Medusa
is under
confidently
attack.
presses forward, clearing out those creeps. You can see the damage from her in the low ground. Miracle jumps forward once net, who gets forced away once more. Mushi intercepts. Abyssal locks him in place, but the BKB is going to soak up the damage, and Mushi goes down, forces out the buyback. They jump on back forward. They take down the Wraith King, and they just finish what they started on this Rax. They want to make it to the Summit House here, and with a victory they can do it. Your Stone Gaze pops off. Kenshi falls once more. 2 down. And now your mid-racks also down.
Radiant's
First
middle
Departure,
barracks
they're going for the jugular. Looks like LD. Megas are on the rise here. Mushi, what can he do to
Radiant's
stop
top
this?
tower has
Nothing.
fallen.
He blinks in. He's just going to get stunned, probably die. He does have a Mana Void if he can somehow find that magic Mana Void. Perhaps there's hope, but you're still looking at mass buybacks ready to go for First Departure. Even if they fall, Mushi gets a double. He's low, but Invoker coming through with the Deathly Blast, looking for Lovey. There's your bash. Should be enough for the kill. The Venge swamping from long range. They just want the Megas. Lovey going to go down. Palosan going to go down. 4 heroes dead, but all 4 have buyback, and they've caved in mid. They've caved in bottom. Melee claimed there, and top in
Man,
jeopardy.
they're so low, too.
And Mushi had to buy back. They've used 4 buybacks in this defense. 0 buybacks even used by First Departure. I think you have to go for like a desperation play here. I don't know.
Oh, man.
It's probably the end of the line for Malaysia, unless First Departure really screws up this next fight. They won't have a Ravage for 70 seconds. That's the main thing they're lacking. They'll have their Stone Gaze. Sven's BKB will be ready. He can buy out, maybe buy one more item. They're just going to start buying out, hoping to deter Malaysia. But Malaysia are undeterred. It's all in now, baby. No buybacks on anyone important. They're going for it.
Here they go. Tier 3 does drop mid lane. Immediate swap back on Mushi. He gets stunned up from all sides. Force is going to be there to help him out, but can he get away? Immediate Manta. He's forced out from the side. Mushi able to slip out with the blink, and its first departure caught up with now that nice tornado. Team Malaysia might be able to walk away with this one without losing anyone and just forcing out those buybacks on everyone except
They forced
for
out 3. That's
Medusa.
pretty good. Still, you're down 2 lanes of Rax, though.
Yeah, and you still are pressured to get something done. Otherwise, first departure, just go for another team fight and go for the win. And oh no, Mushi jumps right in. He gets stunned about once more. There's another follow-up magic missile. Can they take him down? Big damage, multi times 2. He walks, he does blink out. He skates away barely with 50 life, but let's see Malaysia as they press on in. Wraith King does pick up a nice kill. They take down.
There's going to be a dieback on Hana right before he gets the Ravage 2. It would be a disaster EMP. He barely gets off the Ravage, but perhaps it's not enough. Maybe it's not over for Malaysia. The creep's coming in bottom lane. Mushi's so low, has no HP regen aside from the Battle Fury. Oh, they have the Wraith King heal. He's going to try to heal up on some creeps. You just want to go right back in. You know that Tide's out of the game for a minute. Bottom lane's pushing in. Net will hold the line here. They're going to continue to run the Wraith King around just to heal up Mushi so that he can head back in. I think they're ferrying some salves now. That's right. Vlad's on the way for Ohio. This is the timing window for Malaysia. 45 seconds with no Tide Hunter. Buyback status for both teams. You've got one on Ogre as well as Skywrath and the Medusa. So that's the big one for the Dire. Really just the Medusa buyback. Can they win a fight now? This would be huge. At least claim a full lane of Rax. Still doesn't look great for Malaysia, but this is the best it's going to ever get.
Creeping on behind. Oh, she doesn't make it to the high ground. Medusa stuck in the corner first to pull out the BKB, but they immediately fire back with that heavy right-click split swat, and they, well...
Mushi? Mushi? No, you can't die back down! Oh, no!
Multi to the face. He's out
10 for 2 minutes. That's it. Courier's going to go down as well. It was carrying that precious payload I mentioned, and actually just a gem in the base. Creeps are marching in. Desperation Gambit, but... who needs Tidehunter, man? They didn't even need Hana in the end there. GG, well played. First departure. Stay alive. They've got a date with Invasion and a shot at the LAN finals.
First departure, a team that wasn't even initially on the docket to compete.
Only got in because of the match fixing scandal. Here they are.
And they even started with a couple of losses when they first got in, and then they just went on a nice hot streak, found their way into the playoffs, moved on through, made their way to the lower bracket final, and now have just made one of the biggest upsets. 2 times now they have bested Team Malaysia in this tournament.
A lot of credit to First Departure. They played really well, but I mean, not one of Mushi's best games. Trying to rush a Midas, then dying, like aggressively blinking in mid and dying. Trying to take fights against a Sven when he's gone for a Midas Battle Fury anti-mage repeatedly. Item selection was questionable. I don't know. It was not his best performance, but hey, First Departure, stock rising, looking good, and honestly, I consider them at least 50-50, if not favorites, going up against Invasion.
And we'll find out. That's going to be a best of 5. The winner will be the team that kind of punches their ticket and will move out here into Southern California. Beautiful Southern California, and be able to compete here at the house, along with the other teams, and including returning champions EG Gaming. So we'll find out those answers here momentarily. Our best of 5 coming up now between First Departure and Invasion Gaming. If you like what you heard, catch me over on my Twitter at CoddleGuy. Catch him over on LD Dota on Twitter, and we'll be back in just a moment.